Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to look at a couple of smaller stocks. Let's start off with good old Solar City, which just can't seem to get out of its way. Very frustrating trade, but therein lies the opportunity. Okay, so before you get all dejected, this thing is just not working, whatever, let's look to see what might happen. All right, again, I'm showing you a broader perspective on the weekly chart. On this one, I am going to draw a large falling wedge, very pronounced, and these things can break out and give and pay a lot of bills. All right, so this is a very large falling wedge on thing. What's the low end of the wedge? Do the math. Just look at it. It's 42 and change. We've got 7 points on the downside. This is weekly charts. Okay, there is a doji here. It's still red, but still it's a doji. Indecisive action. Looking at the internals, the stochastics have to start to crawl up. It's very unusual. It's flat like this. It's been flat since the stock was in the mid 50s. Okay, it's been flat like this since the stock was at 57 actually. So it hasn't gone down anymore, but the price has come down, as you can clearly see that. So what can happen here? We got a downside here showing you both sides of 42. I think the lower Bollinger holds it at around 45. So we got 4 points there. Okay, on the upside, if it hits the mid Bollinger, we're looking at $65. Okay, there could be a slew of catalysts. Look at what happened to TSL. Look at what happened to YGE. These crappy little solar companies. Look at what happened to CSUN. They were left for dead. Now they're moving up big time. So Solar City, one of the best known brands in the world and United States, Elon Musk associated with it, has a lot more potential than what people think. Remember one thing: I don't fall in love with stocks. I don't fall in love with managements. I just, I respect good managements. I come from a background where I did a lot of fundamental research on companies. Here we're talking technicals here. So again, to me, this is a vehicle to make money. So here we are. If we take out 52, 52 and a half, very important lines. The 50-week moving average, for example, is at 53, rounding off the numbers. Then we are free to move up towards the 59, 55 to 59 level. We need to do this soon. Okay, we need to cross over 53, stay over that, have a very powerful. I personally think what Solar City needs is a very powerful falling wedge breakout. It has to be done on volume, and it is done immediately within an hour or two during market hours. If you notice here, we have exhaustion in sellers. The bars are starting to come down, and that's a very good sign. Exhaustion in the sellers all the way from this $53 level. So big move up on heavy volume, just comes from nowhere, hits it. Remember, when this thing starts moving, it's not going to be giving out a green flag saying buy me. Alright, we just have to keep following the discipline of seeing, look at this falling wedge, and as long as we are holding this 42, 42, 46 level or 42.30 level, we're good to go, because this is the same level that the stock bounced off. Okay, very well might go there. So that's I think that explains Solar City. All right, let's look at Feye, another stock that I missed this huge run. Okay, I played a little bit around here and then it took off like a rocket. So here's our second chance, and I'm not the only one thinking like that, that I can assure you. There's a lot of fund managers, hedge funds who miss Feye, and they want to be in it. It's a great company. It's an American company which knows what they're doing. They're catching the bad guys. How about that? Okay. So saying all that, we have 2 weeks of large accumulation. Two fat green bars. You see that? That's telling us something. There's shorts covering and somebody is buying it heavy. They know it's going to move. Short term, I think it moves up to the $36, $37 level. And then over the medium term, which would be anywhere from 7 to 10 days or maybe 2 weeks, we get towards 42. Again, when Feye starts moving, I don't need to remind you, it moves like this. Okay, you might say, well, the landscape's changed. It's a different world now. They don't want to, no one wants to gamble in these high momentum tech stocks. Well, believe me, human nature never changes. It's always the same. You're gonna see the same idiots who bought it bought this, buying the same thing here, and the same people will be caught here. So nothing really changes, okay? Despite whatever they tell you in the media. So because as human beings, we really haven't changed. It's all about fear and greed. So best case scenario, over the short to medium term, we get towards 41. Once we cross over that, we are free. We got these Fibonacci's to guide us along the way. 53 is 38.2 retracement, 50% retracement, which generally works for me very, very well. I've shown this a zillion times. That's probably why there are more than 11,000 followers on StockTwits over a short period of time. Is this Fibonacci retracements have treated me very well, both on the downside and the upside. So we're looking at $61 as the 50-week moving average. So that might take very well, a month or two. But with with FireEye, I wouldn't count on it. Okay, it could happen a lot quicker. So short term, as you know, I'm playing it very well. Bought it here at these levels, added more, and now we're looking at 31.2, and I'm looking at about 37 to unload my options at the end of next week, before the end of next week, hopefully. And I have a stock 2, and I will add on to it on any dip as long as it doesn't break the 25 level, or if it doesn't fall below the 27 level in a heavy volume move. That means things are really wrong, and they got hacked themselves. So I'm just kidding around. So that's FireEye for you. Let me pick up another one to show people. Let's look at LinkedIn, okay? So LinkedIn's chart is really messed up, and I'll tell you, this is one heck of a ugly chart. Therein lies the opportunity. Okay, I'm not in love with LinkedIn here, but then again, it starts to move. It moves in, it's moved up from 135 to 152. That's 20 points in 3 days. Okay, I'm sorry, in 3 weeks. So I'm looking at it kissing the downward sloping 34 week moving average. Again, we're looking at broader pictures here. We're looking at 161. It doesn't really pay the bill to wait line that long to get to 162. That's a 10-point move. You want a bigger move in this. So unless we see a real catalyst here moving up towards the 181 level, which would really be a play, I'm not going to really recommend this stock that much, even though it's starting to move up. So keep an eye on this one. Keep an eye on this. Let's look at Splk. People have asked me on that, including one of my more loyal followers, Mr. Sidhu. And Tony, Splk's coming out next week. He tells me I got to check on that. So where are we with Splk here? Well, this is a company I like a lot. I think it's got a lot of potential. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line here to show people what's going on. Okay, these things are like. So what's going on here is that we have 40 seems to be the line in the sand, because that's the area that it broke out of. One right here. Okay. It's a double cup, and then bang, it broke out over right here around this level, around 41. What do you do after that? It really never looked back. It went straight to 106. Mind you, I do have a chart showing a Fibonacci extension, fib extension on this chart. When I called it somewhere around here on this breakout back in April of 2013, I played it till about here, and then I left the last 20, the last 40 points on its own, even though I just couldn't believe it was going like that. So, I mean, I might be a bull, but I'm not crazy. I don't like 20-point gap opens every single day. It's just not my style of trading. I like to buy distressed stuff and ride it the way up. So there it is. Here's the distressed stuff. This is a nice doji. It's telling me that it wants to go towards 51. Okay, Splk wants to go towards 51 and kiss this downward sloping 9-week moving average at around 56. So your stop should be around 40, and your upside, your sell limit should be up there somewhere. I would say we could get 10 points out of this. We need this to move up. We need the MACDs to start to turn up, stochastic to turn up fast. We need more volume, but I think Splk can do it. Let's move on to some other charts in the next series.